What up, everybody? Hopefully, you guys are having a fun time. It is Friday Eve, and you're spending a little bit of time with me, your host, Anthony Weaver, as I will try to take my best shot at looking at the different ways that help you weather the storm, your financial tips for uncertain times. So, let's go on and listen and get my intro once I figure out where that is. We're gonna find out right now. Hold on. You're listening to the About That Wallet podcast. We'll be right back after these messages.
Even the best and the brightest this world has to offer have coaches and mentors. Build strong money-making behaviors by applying financial concepts and strategies with Anthony Weaver on the About That Wallet show. It's time to get off the bench and get in the game. Now, here's your host, Anthony Weaver.
And we're back. Hopefully you guys are having a great time because you know how it is. And with that being said, we have quite a bit of things to talk about. So first off, we are still in Women's, History Month. And because of that, I would like to give a shout out to all the women who have been on this podcast thus far. And I have so many other women who are doing amazing things inside the financial space. Even if you're not in the financial space or whatever, and you just want to be on the show to share your story, the About That Wallet podcast show is here to help you amplify your message. Or even because you never know, you might be helping out somebody who just might need it. And, they just might need that little pep talk, to get them through the day, to get them through their situation. But how that goes. So as we go through, I got to start off with what's going on in the news. Now, one of the things is that I found out is that Baltimore is actually not really giving away houses. They are putting up their dollar houses again. Can you believe that? So let's go on and take a look over to my, I guess you could say, lovely assistant, which is just another website. Get them going. Because one of the things is that I like to do, I don't like to talk about all the news because some of the stuff you can look up yourself. And I figured as though, like, if you can look it up yourself, why not have me share it? And so this is what's going on in Baltimore right now. So if you're looking for a house and you're not sure yet, and you got some little extra cash and you want to invest in Baltimore City and actually beautify it a little bit, well, look no further than Baltimore. Let's see what they had to say.
Vacant homes in Baltimore that only cost $1. This morning, Baltimore Spending Board approved a program that will sell certain city-owned houses for just $1. 11 reporter Tolly Taylor is joining us now live in the newsroom. And Tolly, not everyone was on board with this.
Yeah, City Council President Nick Mosby succeeded in getting the city spending board to defer this item 2 weeks ago after detailing his concerns. But the spending board passed the new pricing structure in a 4-1 vote this morning. Mosby, the lone no vote. More than 13,000 homes in Baltimore are vacant, and the city owns close to 1,000 of them. Individual buyers and community land trusts are eligible to buy these city-owned vacant homes for $1. Small nonprofits can purchase these homes for $1,000, and developers and larger nonprofits would need to pay $3,000. The hope is that area residents will buy the vacant homes or lots, fix them up, and then live in them. But Mosby says without specific written protections, city residents won't be given priority in buying these properties, and he says they'll be pushed out when neighborhoods improve.
I did agree with a lot of the president's concerns about the problems that we're facing in terms of affordable housing and in some places gentrifying of neighborhoods. I think the disagreement here today was this is not the vehicle that's going to address a lot of those concerns.
Now, the new pricing structure only applies to city-owned homes that appear on the Buy Into Be More website. Live in the newsroom, I'm Tolly Taylor, WBAL-TV 11 News.
All right, so that's one of the things that they were talking about, and I think that's pretty interesting. that they're going to have this pretty much a great opportunity for people who are planning on actually moving into the city, but also if they buy these homes, they have to plan on living in them as well. Now, remember, so for those of you who are not familiar with the whole thing about buying into opportunity zones, majority of the, I guess you could say, the segments of the city do qualify for opportunity zones, which means you're like, Anthony, what is the opportunity zone? So, opportunity zone, I'm glad you asked, is a zone where if you invest inside a particular property and you planning to stay there or you keep your investment in there for 10 years, this was put in through the Trump administration, you will able to actually reap all the capital gains without any taxes, which is amazing opportunity for those of you who are investors. Now, if you think about it, so this property could be $1. You live in it. Say you only lived in it for like 5 years and you decide to move, but then you rented that property out for like the next 5 years. So you'll be able to have that whole property there to allow you to be there for the whole 10 years. And then you can actually reap all the capital gains without any taxes on it. Now that's amazing. I mean, if you guys didn't like that one, then I don't know, because that was great. Now, one of the other things that's also in the news I want to share is that there is a something called the bipartisan bill that will require online identification. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because AI has taken things to a whole new level. As taking things to a whole new level is something we got to think about. We got to get our AI music in. What they have here is that a new bipartisan bill will require online identification labeling of the AI, of AI generated videos and audio. Now, that's actually key to understand. It's like a lot of these fake calls that's been happening that you've heard about, saying like, oh, yeah, my son is missing or so and so. These are the things you need to look into. So there's bipartisan legislation, which means that both parties in the House agreed upon this thing. Introduced to the House on Thursday, will require identification and labeling of online images, videos, and audio generated using artificial intelligence, the latest effort to rein in rapidly developing technologies that, if misused, could easily deceive and mislead. And that is really key, because if there is no way that somebody can identify you or tell the difference between if it's a computer or yourself, that is scary. Considering a lot of the information that we put out there on the internet, because we want to try to be cool and be hip on all these apps. So they even say on online platforms like TikTok, YouTube, or Facebook would then be required to label the content in a way that would notify users. And this is really important because you need to know what items are digital and which ones aren't, because this is really important. So they further say, I'm not going to read it. I'm going to skip through some of these, but this is really important. So they say the rise of innovation in the world of artificial intelligence is exciting. However, it has potential to do some major harm if left in the wrong hands. And this is done, whoever done is, so probably further up in the thing. Dunn said in a statement announcing the legislation, requiring the identification of deep fakes, he said, is a simple safeguard. It would benefit consumers, children, and national security. So they kind of ended off here, said, we are entering a world where it is becoming unclear which content is created by AI systems and impossible to know where the different AI generated content came from. So understanding that is very important, to know that your AI is something that you need to be aware of, because once we switch from AI and start looking into how your day-to-day activities are going into, you need to know the difference between the two, and that's very important. So speaking of AI, Gotta love my AI tools. The AI tool that I want to highlight today. The AI tool I gotta love today. So I have a whole list of AI tools that I like. But which one really sits out there the best? I need you guys to think about it. Like, which AI tool would you really love and enjoy to do? Now, there is something that some of you actually have access to right now. One of the things that you can use is something called Gemini. I like Gemini because it is actually Google's tool. Now, if you're not familiar with Gemini, if you go to gemini.google.com, you will actually have full access to it. Let me go ahead on and share this tab so y'all can see. So if you just type in Gemini on its own, you just type in Gemini. I usually go to it a lot, so that's why it's kind of there. But I want to talk about some of the other things that it has available. So they actually do have the Gemini mobile app. And the cool thing about it, it's available for Android and iOS. The cool thing about this thing is like ChatGPT, but it actually gives you more context about what it's typing to say, like, hey, this sentence is a lot stronger than before. It actually gives you a background of everything. Now, on top of that, Gemini actually can tap into all the Google resources. Okay. When I say tap into all the other Google resources, like Google Travel, you can tap into YouTube videos. You can tap into your actual drive if you need it to. So say if you look at this YouTube video right now and you be like, hey, Gemini, give me 5 tips from Anthony's video. It would actually spit out everything that you need, those 5 tips. And that's really cool. So I just want to highlight that for you all. It's another Chat GPT alternative that I really think that you all should check out. All right. So that's the AI tool for the day. Now, what I want to do is take a brief moment and do like a small little commercial because I am not that great at advertising other people's stuff, but I'm gonna get there. I'm getting there. I gotta do that. Like I said, everybody gotta practice. We gonna practice. This is my practice to do these commercials because usually I have the person that I'm advertising about to come on the show, talk about their stuff because they can advertise it better than I can. However, here we go. Let's see what we got. Hold on. You're listening to the About That Water podcast. We'll be right back after these messages. And I gotta get some background music for this one. So, if you're looking for an opportunity to change your mindset to millions, check out the Perspectives change.com, where we talk about the mindset to millions. And you can actually find Mindset to Millions, where she's talking about transform your finances, transform your life. It's time your lifestyle match your income. Let's see what she has to say.
Hey, Goldie.
If I can blew this up.
You're your money moves motivator. And if you're watching this, you're probably ready to make some serious moves with your money. Welcome to Mindset to Millions, your roadmap to financial freedom. I know managing money can feel very overwhelming and intimidating, but it does not have to be that way. With the right mindset and tools, you can turn your financial life from super confusing to crystal clear. In this course, we're taking a deep dive. I'm talking about actionable steps that you can take right now, real life case studies, and teaching you simple habits that has helped women just like you go from struggling and stressed to empowered about money. Whether you want to release the chokehold that debt has on your paycheck, save up for your dream vacation, maybe you just want to spend more time with friends and family, or just maybe you just want to have more of your hard-earned money in your pocket. I've been there. Trust me, I have been there and been through it myself. But that's why I know change is possible. This isn't just another course. This is a journey, and I'm going to take it with you. So are you ready? You ready to rewrite your money story? Let's do it. Click the link below to enroll, and we will start this amazing journey to financial empowerment. Your future wallet is going to thank me and you. I'm just saying. I see you inside.
Now,
Hello, everyone.
whoops,
For those
I don't know who that is. We're gonna remove her from the thing right quick and bring me back up there. There we go. So, one of the things about that, check out Nia's page. The links will be in the show notes. If not, I can actually put them out there for you. Okay. So we talked about Baltimore City, and I was asking for some tips to see if anybody had anything that they want to talk about before I start diving into anything. And we have Syria from watching on Facebook right now. Thank you for chiming in. Greatly appreciate it. Let me give you some air horns. Thank you for coming through. So, one of the questions that you had here is tips on building your first home with decent credit. Now, one of the cool things about building your home, there's a difference. Do you actually want to build your home from the ground up, or are you actually trying to purchase your first home? So those are two different things you need to look into, because one, when you're buying land, usually most of the times, remember this is educational purposes only. When you're buying land, you're only able to put down you more than likely have to put down 50%. That's one option. You can actually get a hard money lender. So if you don't want to put any money up yourself, you can actually use that as well. And then you obviously can fund it yourself with a credit card. Now, understanding with the credit cards, you can do what they call is like almost like a balance transfer from the credit card to your actual bank account. And then from your bank account, you can do whatever you need to at that point. Now, majority of the credit cards will give you 18 months, no interest, so that you can go ahead on and use that money to start building the land at that point. However, that's just getting the land. Now, actually looking to fund the whole project and so forth, I highly recommend to check out with your alderman, the alderman of the actual county or city that you're building in. Chat with them, chat with the congressman and the councilman. The reason why I say you want to get familiar with them, because they can actually help you with either seed money, help market the property for you. They can look out for other resources that are in the city. And more than likely, they can either include you in some of the meetings that they're having about that particular area that you just purchased in. So utilize all the resources that you have there. So that's just the beginning piece as far as utilizing your resources, but not a little bit more than just the money. You'll be surprised on how many programs that are out there that the city has that majority of the time people are not privy to, because they don't take advantage of the local city laws and programs that are available. So hopefully that is helpful to you whenever you come through. All right. So let's take a deep dive into really figuring out what the heck we want to do today, because we want to make sure that you have all the resources necessary to take yourself to the next level and actually weather the storm, because we have the furlough that's looming. We're not sure what's going to happen. If it does happen, hey, that's great, but also you need to prepare just in case you don't. So we already talked about how the inflation, dealing with housing, how to get into it. So what we want to do is start talking about savings. There are three things that you can do to actually help out with your finances. You can either save it, spend it, and invest it. Now, saving your money, everybody knows to spend less than what you make. That is very helpful. You want to prioritize your savings, especially now, to start thinking about how can you start looking into what are your monthly expenses. If you're listening to this show, you're a long time listener, you know that you have to sit down and prioritize your savings. You need to save at least 6 months of your expenses. The reason why I'm saying 6 months is because it depends on your industry. You can do 3 months, as most people would say to do. That depends on your industry. If you're a nurse and you're out of work, there's another hospital right down the road that will hire you. However, if you're a cop, might have to go to the next county or the next city to get to work. But say if you're in the financial space, or if you're in information technology or education, these jobs do take time to promote yourself. You have to write your resumes and cater it to the different areas. These are things that you need to be aware of. So everything really depends on your situation. We talk about the ROI on your education. Look at those transferable skills that you have. So if you are, say for any reason that you are in teaching, there are jobs that you can translate that to. You can look at leadership. You can look at supervisor, because if you're a teacher, you got them 20 kids running around, and all of a sudden you can get those kids to act right and actually start listening to you. You can do the same with adults, because like most of us as adults, we still like that candy. We like that piece of candy. We like that special treatment. And if you can do that as a teacher, to provide that special treatment to that one child that's always up and around and all excited, then you can handle adults doing the same thing. You just got to put them, instead of doing like the report cards, you doing their evaluations. When you do their like grading them on their work, you're doing the same thing with their work at work as adults. It's like, hey, you know what? You could work on this. This is like, you're good at giving feedback. These are just transferable skills. This is just an example of trying to transfer your skills when you're looking for another job. Now we got to talk about managing your debt. We all know that inflation is going up, and you need to be well versed in understanding what the heck is going on when it comes to managing your debt. We know that the groceries are going up. We know eggs. I've heard eggs are being like $10. I can't believe eggs at $10. I'm not buying no eggs. I better do some eggs alternatives. Start using some flaxseed. I don't know, but we're gonna be doing something else, because I ain't paying no $10 for eggs. We get some egg whites or something up in here, but no. So we got that, managing the debt, but also look at what you're spending on. If your credit card utilization, you want to make sure. I know the rule of thumb, they say under 33%. Ultimately, you want your debt under 5%. That's the golden rule. So you want to build your credit, you got to do it under that 5%. And that is key, because if you want to say, if all of a sudden you do lose your job, at least all you have is pay back that 5%, find a way. And that's where I want to talk about in that next level, which is making that money. Now we talk about, when it comes to making money, you're talking about reinvesting that money. Start reevaluating how you're actually investing and how you're spending that money. Now, when you evaluating that money, you're looking into yourself. How are you investing in the money that you worked hard for yourself? Remember, you got to put that mask on first, right? Before you save somebody else. You can't go out there and try to say like, oh yeah, let me help you out. Let me give you $20 right quick. But yet you didn't even spend $20 on yourself for a book. Okay? Take that $20, buy yourself a book, buy a course, digital product. I don't have any digital downloads regarding like how to save and all that fun stuff. I just have a budget calendar. So if you just want to spend $5 with me, get your budget calendar to help you manage your debt. That's great. I greatly appreciate it. You can always go to the aboutthatwallet.com/shop and get it now. The only other thing that I would say is that what you can look into is, when you're investing in yourself, is to look at what educational products that you have currently with your job. if you have a job right now and they have an employee assistance program or EAP, you want to look into those to make sure that you are taking full advantage of that. They have great, awesome tools to kind of help you either with your finances, which is they might just have a finance department take care of that. If you want to talk about your well-being, your eating habits, and so forth, your EAP, your office has that available. So take full advantage of your job while you have it. And don't be upset with the management, because management is always going to upset you. You want to focus on yourself. How are you betting yourself to better serve the company that you decided to say, yes, I want to be employee of this job, and take full advantage of everything? If they have an education assistance program, you better take care of that too. Okay. Yeah. Eggs are way too expensive. So managing what your expenses are, you're evaluating and everything like that. Now you want to start looking into some of these resources. Like, one of the resources that I highly recommend, and this is through the government website. This is a .gov site. Let me see if I can share this with you all so you can see. Now, for those of you who are listening via audio, right now I went to consumerfinance.gov, where they have a lovely educational website. This is for you and your research. So you're going to have to take time out to look through this website. Now, this is the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, and they have consumer education. And the reason why I like this is because they talk about different topics that most people have questions for, which is regarding auto loans. You got bank accounts and services, credit cards, credit report scores, debt collections, fraud and scams. Like, if you want to report your fraud and scams, you definitely want to check this out. Student loans, reverse mortgage. Yeah, read up on reverse mortgages before you take one of these out. I'm not a big fan of those, but it's just good to know. And also about money transfers, mortgages, and like payday loans. They got a payday loan just about on every corner, but it's best to understand how they operate and how their taxes are. It's like ridiculous. Okay, so you really want to make sure that you're careful with payday loans. They're like everywhere. But yeah, but again, use the site to its fullest. They have database and research. You can look at anything you need here. This is just one tool. The second tool is the Federal Trade Commission. You'll hear about this site a lot. I'm just moving things around. I got so much stuff going on. So, and this one is called consumer.ftc.gov. And I really wanted to bring up the credit in depth link so that you are familiar with what's going on. When they're talking about the credit discrimination, you know about the laws that give you protection when you apply for credit. Also, as far as different less favorable terms, getting utility services, and understanding your credit. So this is a resource, again, that's provided by the government that you have full access to. So you don't have to listen to all these other quote unquote gurus or people on the internet just like me. You want to make sure that you're fully educated. And this is what I'm here to do, to help you fully understand what's going on. So now that we understand we got our resources, we know about getting out of debt, we know about reinvesting ourselves, and also we talked about savings. So now you're like, Anthony, well, before you go, can you share with us something like how to make some money? I'm like, sure, I owe that to you as my audience. One of the best ways that I found out that was nice and easy. Remember I was talking about Gemini? You can always go back to Gemini. What is the most easiest thing that a lot of people can sell? A lot of people sell digital products. Now, the reason why people hate, I guess you could say, most of the digital products is because they only talk about what do they call it? They only talk about what those things like journals. I did that. but because it's low content and so forth. But also, you want to look into how to make some more money. And one of the ways is that you can do is drop shipping. I don't think I talked about that much. It's called POD, which is paid on delivery. I think that's paid on delivery. Sorry, paid on delivery. Oh, which is almost like what they call it. It's another term for drop shipping. That's ultimately what it is. And paid on delivery, I'm gonna just show you guys here. So they saw pay on delivery or cash on delivery, as well as additional like digital payment via UPI/QR code scan pay. So pay on delivery is available for payment method and all times, blah blah blah. This is directly from Amazon on what they're saying that's going on. Now, one of the tools that I like for drop shipping, I highly recommend. I mean, I am affiliate, but I'm not going to affiliate this one, which is Printful. The reason why I like Printful is because they have like print on demand. You can get your own hoodies, your own totes, and everything like that. The only thing about them is that they are a bit costly. So it's up to you. But I would leave that with you as an item. So if you want to design something you think is really cool, hey, go for it. And also the National Archive, Art Archive, I believe it's the National Art Archive, free art. I think they were talking about how the images are now free because you can get free artwork from these particular sites. And let me share this tab so you can see. So they just have now an open access to the National Art Gallery, and they have open data now. And also you can search for downloadable images. So if you want any of these images that you see up in the National Gallery of Art, you can actually put these on shirts, pants, mugs if you want to. And if that's what you feel like you want to do, then hey, I think that is actually pretty cool. So you can actually download these. They are pretty much opening this up to the masses. So if you actually want to take advantage, go for it. Do you want a guy holding some type of scripture? You know, they call it Christ's Blessings by Griffo di Tancredi. I don't know who that is. However, you can do whatever you want with these images. These are great. So, you know, who knows? I might. Why does that one look like he's just patting the lady on the head? That's funny. It's a lot of patting on the head deal. What's the deal with that? I guess they talking about one is baptism in the process, but it's a lot of head bowing. Like nobody's looking up. You know, I never even thought about that recently until I started looking at some of these images. But all right, that's one of the cool things that I wanted to leave you off with today. So we went through a whole gambit of things. And what I really challenge you today is to go out there. First, look at how much you're having your savings. If your savings, how much you having your savings is upsetting you, I want you to open up a high yield savings account. Pick a company. I'm not going to sponsor any companies. Pick a company, open up a high yield savings account. Start putting $5 in there. If you put $5 in your high yield savings account, get that going. After you get the high yield savings account going, start looking at how you're going to manage your debt. Start working on paying some of that off. You might have to change the way how you are investing in your business and yourself, and also in other people. You need to set those boundaries. We talked about that. Now that you have that understanding, now you're going to start looking into investing in yourself again, so that you can start caring about others, start investing, tithing, and so forth. Make sure that's part of your life. If tithing is something non-negotiable, that's fine. Make sure you have your tithing in your budget. You need to make sure, if you like budget, spending plan, what have you. It is what it is. It's money. You got to make sure you manage it. You're the CEO of your money. And I want to leave you all with that. Hey, what's going on, Vern? Thank you for coming through. Greatly appreciate you. All right, so everybody, if you who are listening want to ever join me on my episodes, join me on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. I'm usually live at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And always come by to say hi. I love seeing your faces. I like interacting with you. And yeah, I'll continue on to push out some more content. And I have a lot of stuff coming through. I think I got the newsletter. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter. It's a monthly newsletter. I know I've been doing some weekly ones because I was testing some things out. But I think I'm going to go back to the monthly. And what I'm going to do, my monthly newsletter is pretty much going to be nice and lengthy. And with that, we want to say that because it's been such a great time, I actually have something that's coming up. So I will be speaking in LA at the Podcast Movement Evolutions. So for those of you who are curious and want to join, it's going to be for those of you who are listening who are in LA, you can actually stop by and I'll be talking there. If you actually want to get your own ticket, use 25 off Anthony and you get $25 off your ticket. So let's go on and make sure that happens. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. I'm out. Peace. Now I got to find my outro. I always have this problem. All right, here we go.